Cheers, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to the Stony Ridge Farm today. Come here, buddy. Come say hello to everybody. Come say hello. Come on, boy. There you are. There you are. Say good morning to Buddy. Oh, good boy. Go lay down. Good boy. Welcome to the farm, guys. This morning's going to be fun. We are live on Facebook and on the Cows and Coffee YouTube channel. If you guys are not subscribed to the Cows and Coffee and you're on the regular YouTube channel, be sure you jump in on the Cows and Coffee. We are trying to, or I'm trying to do live streams 4 and 5 days a week. So if I can join you live, it'll most likely be on the Cows and Coffee, but we're on all the socials today. So cheers, Cows and Coffee, of course. This is from my buddy Fix the Rust Buckets channel. Nice guy, really cool people. His name's Chris. What we're going to be doing today, this will be the most quiet this video will be. What we're going to do today is we're going to be moving the cows across the public road over into the new section of pasture. Today I'm going to take you guys along with me as I do the checks and balances that need to be done to get them into the new pasture. So what we've got to do is go over there, take a look at what's going on, make sure that the fencing is up, everything's good to go, and then we'll move the cows into the pasture. We've got to run some fence wire. All this will be live. This is all real-time live, so I hope you'll stick with me for a little bit. We'll probably be live for at least an hour today. It'll be a good time. Stick around to the end. We'll do some question and answer stuff. If you're watching this after the fact, please stick with us. I will read your comments and stuff as we go through. Thank you all for coming in. We got David, Denise, Bubba, Plague of Badgers in the house. Plague of Badgers, I got your coffee cup. Fix the Rust Bucket is his other channel. Michael Blum, Angie, K9 Striker, a lot of the old school folks. Eric, Brian, BC Gritner, all in the house here, guys. Farmer Dan, good to have you guys. And Jeff, I changed over. I'm drinking a coffee now that is half coffee, half mushroom blend. It is good stuff. At some point, I'll put a link for you guys to try that out. My coffee maker blew up, right? So it stopped working, and I didn't want to buy a new coffee maker. So I started making, which is pretty popular in Europe, using instant coffee. And then I switched over from regular instant coffee to the mushroom instant coffee. And yeah, it's really helped. Holy cow. Brian Grammer, thank you so much, man. $9.99 super chat. Thank you so much. That buys, what does that buy? That buys a quarter of a hay bale for the winter. So thank you, man. I appreciate it. In case you guys don't know, this is what I do. This is what I do for a living. I'm building the farm. I'm creating content. I spend about 80 hours a week creating content and getting it edited and published out to you guys. So showing a super chat like that is really, really appreciated. I'm not here to ask you for money or anything like that. I really appreciate it. And thank you so much for recognizing that it takes a lot of work to bring this to you guys. And I want you to see the reality of farming. I'm not Farmer Bill that wears cowboy boots and a cowboy Stetson hat and a big old belt buckle. I am the average North Carolina small farm guy. This is the farm. This is the homestead. This is the way people used to live. They had a little bit of acreage. They built a farm. They fed their families, and that's what this is all about. So even from the inception of the farm, what I've always wanted to do is build soil. I'm really curious about soil and the way that soil works and the way that farming works and regenerative farming works. So this is a science project for me and hopefully an educational project for you guys also. So I think it's important, and I think I like to provide, if it's good information, it's all good information. You can learn more from an idiot than you can from a smart person in some cases. It's easier to retain information from mistakes than it is to retain information from triumphs. I mean, really, we all know how to mess up, but we all don't know how to do the best, that we, to do everything just perfect and just right. Now, we may screw up down here moving the cows today. So that's why you got to stick around and watch the whole thing. Mike Murphy sends a $10 super chat. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. Very generous. It must be payday. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Mike. I really appreciate that. And I'll come back after the fact and thank you too. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. So let's talk real quick before let's get some business handled while I drink my coffee. And if you guys are just now joining, again, we're going to go move the cows. We're going to show you the chickens. They're out in the egg mobile. Everything's been awesome with the egg mobile. No more fox troubles, which is very cool. The chickens follow me everywhere I go, virtually everywhere I go. So they may follow us all the way down to where the cows are moving. They've been hanging out with the cows, actually, so it's pretty fun. Morning, Leslie, Carol, good to see you guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Joe. So housekeeping-wise, that's what's going on. You're going to be able to hear me talk, but you may not be able to see me throughout this entire video. And when we get down to the cows, it's going to be loud. They are ready to move. I have got them on a section of land, and I've had them kind of overgrazing this section because it's a lot of broom sedge. And the broom sedge is palatable to the cows right now. We're talking about this before we get there because it's so loud down there. You won't. They're looking at me right now mooing. Watch. Woo! You guys probably can't hear them. But anyway, the broom sedge is not very palatable for the cows. Once it sprouts up, it bolts. It goes into the bolt phase, which means it's shooting up a seed head. So right now it's just little tufts of grass, and the cows will eat those little tufts of grass down. And I want them to eat them way down, way down. So I've had them in here, and they're kind of overgrazing this area. You're going to see flies. There are flies on the cows. It is summertime. There are going to be flies on the cows, and that's it. You won't see a lot of face flies, the flies that get in the cow's eyes and cause them to have pink eye and cause them to have health disparities. You won't see a lot of biting flies. You'll see just basically common house flies around the cattle, and that's a normal thing. What they're doing is getting the moisture off of the cow's back. You'll see that in a second. So Pandora Gonzalez says, why am I having trouble seeing the live? I don't know. Refresh your browser. If you ever have trouble, just refresh your browser. We are going to head on down. We're a little bit early starting the live stream, but welcome everybody. 143 of you in here. Hit that like button and click that share button. If you're watching on Facebook and you haven't followed the channel, reach way over there and hit that follow. Hit that follow button. Penny says, I'm processing apples for apple juice and applesauce. Oh, yeah. That's pretty awesome. That's good stuff. So we're going to leave Buddy on the porch here. Buddy does not come down with me and play with the cows. He just does not come down. John Clay sends a 19.99 super chat. Man, thank you guys. You guys have paid for 1.5 bales of hay today. Thank you so much. We're leaving the coffee behind. Thank you. John Clay says, looking at property in northern Minnesota this weekend. It's not a farm, but your videos help about owning property. Awesome. The land of 1,000 lakes, right? Minnesota. I love it up in Minnesota. Farm people, awesome people. Everyone I've met in Minnesota has been fantastic. You know, Stanley the Dirt Monkey, if you guys aren't familiar with Stan's channel, Stanley Dirt Monkey is his channel. What a great guy. I mean, just what a great guy. He and I travel together. We go to shows together. And he lives in Minnesota. He's in the Minneapolis area, but he's got some property up in, I think it's called Bemidji area, I do believe, but I'm not positive. Minnesota's a big tundra, like big tundra flat place, pretty much to me, from what I've seen. You wonder why I'm getting in the skid loader. I'm getting this mount in case my battery goes dead in my gimbal that you guys are on. We want to have good steady footage. So, by the way, you'll see a video coming out on this. This is it's called the Bigfoot Cutter. And I just got done yesterday running the skid steer and running the Bigfoot Cutter. And it has big feet. It's tough, man. I beat the snot out of it. I actually am going to have to replace the blades because we did a little bit of plowing with the Bigfoot Cutter too. Let's see the cows and chickens, says Mike. I want my cow and chicken fix. Let's turn the camera around. We're going to drive on down. We'll show you guys what's going on and get set up for this move. And I'll talk you through everything that we're doing here. Okay. There we go. Hop on the ATV. Have not gone down and fed or watered the chickens yet. You're going to hear a little background noise and it might be a little bumpy. And we're not going to go down and feed and water the chickens today, but we'll go take a look at them. They're all in this pasture right here. I say all of them, but this one chicken we're getting ready to, he's getting ready to be like, man, I'm in the wrong spot. So we're gonna try to herd that guy. You wanna herd some chickens this morning? I think we should. Let's turn around. The grass is gorgeous, guys. This is where the chickens were a couple weeks ago. And I fertilized the yard with the chickens. All right, guys, let's go. All right, it's herding chicken time. Some of them, we ain't herding that chicken. There's a few chickens right here in the garden right now pecking my tomatoes. We'll have to solve that problem a little later. Honeybees are right here. They're rocking and rolling this morning. Very good. I need to put another super on the top of the honeybee hives at some point. We got a chicken way over with the cows, and we got chickens out here. This whole group should be following me pretty soon. I guess they all like their daddy. So the cows are all right here. And like I said, the chickens have full access to this entire pasture. They've been cleaning up all the bugs, eating the grass, basically just living off the land. I'm supplementing them with very, very little food, which seems to be working out great. So really happy with the situation. So for viewership's sake, we're moving out of this pasture and across the road up into this field. Okay. Once again, thank you guys for those super chats. If anybody is leaving stars on Facebook, I can't see them on this live stream platform, but I will go back and personally thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Every little bit helps, guys. Like Grandpa told me, count your pennies and your dollars will grow. So here's the cows, and they're going to make their way right to this gate. Come on, babies. Come on. Okay. So we're going, so you guys know, from this gate down this road that you saw me build last fall, or late winter last winter, over to this section of pasture. I've got to fence all this off, and I've got to block the road off for a second. Now you guys will see the cows. You can see them as we move out of this section of pasture and across the road. They will leave some of the flies behind. You will see flies, and they're annoyed by these flies. I do have a mixture, an herbal mixture that I like to spray on the cows to keep the flies down a little bit. I can see they're annoying them, but there's not a lot that I can do for them first thing this morning. Okay. There we go. Good deal. Thank you, Michael. I see your message there. All right, we're going to turn the camera around, and I've got a little bit of walking to do. But before we turn the camera around, we got to drive up through here. I forgot. Let's drive up, and we'll open the gate, and we'll go up in and inspect this pasture together. You guys are going to live your farm life vicariously through me this morning, which is a fun thing. I think it's fun. You're going to see exactly how everything works. Now, after the video's over, or if you're watching and you want to leave a regular comment down there, tell me what you'd like to see more of on the farm channel. Let's get turned around. There's the bunch of babies. All the babies have to come out here too. We got to get everybody across the road. This is a challenge every time I do it, guys. Big challenge. It's going to take about 15 minutes to get everything settled and build this little alleyway. So you see posts on either side. I've just got to fence all that off, and we'll do that as soon as we get back here in a second. First, let's go over here, and I'm going to open this gate up. I'm gonna set the camera right there. Woo, cows! Not too long ago, my mom gave me a tape of me as a child calling the cows in. That was pretty cool. One day I'll have to play that for you guys. So I've got a piece of fence right here that I got to get hooked up. I thought it was already hooked up, but maybe it's not. Hook that guy up and run up here and check this one too. We're going to drive through this pasture and make sure everything's good to go before we move the cows up. And as soon as I'm done, I'll have to take a shower because there are little stinging grass mites and chiggers all in the grass right here, guys. It's just part of living in North Carolina. They call them no-see-ums, but they will straight bite your legs. All righty. I'll keep a rag on the ATV here, and I'm gonna wipe my legs off real quick and make sure I'm only getting bit 50 times instead of 500 times. And I've got bites all over my legs. You wanna meet a farmer from North Carolina? You're gonna meet somebody with bites all over their legs. Okay, wrong gear, right gear. So we're inspecting this fence line all the way up. Grass is looking great over here. Cows have not been in this section of pasture for about 3 weeks now. We've had great recovery of our grass. We've got to get this post wire into this post. Cows kind of were hard on the fencing last time they were over here. Pop that guy in place. Maybe. This one grew up into the grass. There we go. Can't have this. It'll ground out the fence. Pop that dog fennel. Good to go there. And we'll keep on driving. Rest assured, the rest of the video won't be this bouncy, okay? I'm trying to keep it smooth for you guys. I don't like watching rough, bouncy videos either. This is the winter hay for this section of pasture. The cows will not be into that hay, so they don't need to get into that. What we're doing is just checking this segment of pasture right here, and it's about 2.5 acres where we're going to put the cows, and we've got to give them access to this water tank. We've got a little bit of Johnson grass growing up right here, which is fine. Cows will gobble that up. Okay, this is all electric fence right here, but it's not energized right now. Take this guy loose. And we got a little problem here. We got a water tank that's pumping water out onto the ground. Why is it doing that? I need to check the float and make sure that the float in this tank is appropriately set. It's clearly not appropriately set. If it was, we wouldn't be leaking water out like that. Just a small leak like that can cost thousands and thousands of gallons of water. And this is a mirror fount waterer. I've got a video coming out on how these work. The cows push this ball down and they can drink water. That's just how it works. Very simple. And these are the overflows, and the overflows are overflowing. So we got to fix that. Thousands of gallons of water can be wasted that way. So it's good that we come over here and check it. This started probably a week ago, maybe. It does make green grass grow though. There we go. We're not watering our animals with groundwater. It's deep well water, just so you know. So we're not affecting anything really with having a little bit of water leak out. It's okay. Each one of these cows in the wintertime probably drink about 10 gallons per day. In the hot part of the summer, like today, it's supposed to be about 90 degrees. I think it's going to be 90. They'll drink about 20 to 25 gallons. So a lot of water. People say cows waste water. Well, you understand that the laws of physics apply. When cows drink water, they pee. So the water goes right back to the land. They are gonna go crazy in this grass. This is the best grass that they've been on in nearly a month. They are going to love this. And here is my first tick. There he is. And he was already biting me. He must have been a hungry tick. Welcome to North Carolina. Welcome to farming. Spray skin so soft, no more bites, says Peter. Peter, I like using skin so soft would be the lesser of all the evils, I guess, when it comes to bug spray. But I don't like using those kinds of sprays on me if I possibly can. You know, anything you spray on your skin ends up in your bloodstream. Some people use WD-40. I've got some fence buddies that spray themselves down with WD-40. That is not smart. I'm just saying. I don't. Those guys are smart people, but they're shortening their lives. I've got a good friend of mine. Let's talk about this real quick. We're inspecting the fence. We're done inspecting. Let's turn this camera back around so we can talk a little bit. So, I am a registered nurse and a farmer and a content creator, and I am of the opinion that putting chemicals in and on your body causes health problems, period, point blank. It is absorbed through your skin. If you think spraying your body down with WD-40 is the right thing to do to keep bugs off of you, you're gonna get sick. I mean, you're just gonna get sick. It's not the right thing to do. Ever. What do you guys think about that? Ever. It's never the right thing to do. So I've got a good buddy of mine, a really good buddy of mine, and his dad was a great friend of mine too. His father passed away, and his father was plagued with autoimmune disease, like tons of different autoimmune disease issues. Oh gosh, what's it called? Being a nurse, I should know. Rheumatoid arthritis, all sorts of autoimmune issues. And he was around chemicals all the time. He sprayed cars. He painted cars. He was in the auto industry. And he died at in his 60s, at a very young age. 60s creeping up on me here. It's a very young age to pass away from health disparities, which I totally believe came from exposure to chemicals. Grease, chemicals, oils, stuff like that. Even if you're working on an old greasy tractor, pay attention. Because what you're doing could be killing you. You got to pay attention. You got to keep that stuff off of you. Wear some protective equipment. Wear gloves. One of the last things that my grandpa told me before he passed away was, Josh, you know, he died of a lung condition from working in a factory. He worked in a elastic mill for years and years and years. And he told me this, last pieces of advice he gave me: Josh, protect your lungs, because you only get one set of lungs. And when you can't breathe, it's horrible. It is absolutely horrible. He worked in that elastic plant for years and years and years, and they didn't wear masks. They didn't wear protective gear because either they didn't know or they didn't want to know, which is pretty sad. Here's what I'm going to do. You're going to have to bear with me for about 5 minutes here. I'm going to move these cones out into the road. I'm going to run wire down one side and back up the other. And we're going to open the gate. The cows are directly behind you guys, and we're going to let the cows through. I am stalling the cows right here. Let's show you the cows. I'm stalling the cows right here. Reason I'm doing that, the longer they sit there and wait, the more they anticipate leaving, and the more they'll group together, pack together in a tight-knit group. And when I open the gate, they'll all go across as one big group, and hopefully we won't have any baby stragglers like we had last time. You didn't see that video? What a pain. So, without further ado, I'm going to grab some poly wire and start rolling with this stuff. We got a chicken in the middle of the road up here and a chicken in the middle with the cows. So cross our fingers. Let's see if this chicken follows the cows over. You'll still be able to hear me talking, but you won't be able to really see me here in just a second. Oh. Set this cone out in the road. And first line of electric fence. Come on, buddy. All this fence wire and all this stuff comes from Farm Fence Solutions, my buddy Luke. Great people. There's actually a fencing forum in Virginia today, up in Galax, Virginia, and I may go to it. East Coast Fencing Rivalry. I really enjoy learning about building farm fence and anything to do with learning stuff to help me better myself as a person or better myself as a farmer. I'm gonna run this line down. I'll be right back. You'll probably hear me breathing like a horse here in a second. I did come through with that Bigfoot mower, and I mowed this the other day. All right. Almost done. There we go. Just getting this all set up down here on this end. Hopefully that'll do. I got a chicken right here with me. Hey, birdie. Why did the chicken cross the road? So he could play with the cows, right? Hey, birdie bird. You guys see this chicken? All right. Next road cone is going to go out right there. Thank you guys. Please stick around. Stick around for the whole video. I really appreciate it. And thank you all for sending super chats, the ones that have. I really appreciate that too. Awesome stuff. Talk amongst yourselves for a minute. For just a minute. Hey, birdie birds. Every night, just so you guys know, you'll see chickens running around here. Every night the chickens, they're pretty funny. Every night they will go back to their coop and roost in the coop every single night. It's really cool how they know to go back. I just need to put a post in the ground right there. And they follow me like kittens. It's pretty funny too. Let's see here. Alrighty. All right, so what I've learned with this is that it's much easier for me to connect up my fencing if I have a handle on here. We're going to go ahead and get this handle in place. I am really moving as fast as I possibly can so that my neighbors, in case there's an emergency and they need to get out, they can get out. Try to be as respectful to everybody as I possibly can. Even you guys, for sure. So, for sure. Even you guys. All right. I guess that was a ploy for me to ask you to please be respectful. Hey guys, hey moo cows. Good morning, moo cows. We got both babies over. Yes, we do. Got two very young calves. Stripe is one of them's name. It's got a little white stripe on his tail. I call him Stripe, like the male gremlin on Gremlins. Wrap that around. And both of them are right here. So see if the chickens will follow me. Hey, birdie birds. I talk to my animals like they're people. You know, any animal on any farm deserves the best life possible. We should all be so blessed to have a wonderful life with just one bad moment. To never know sickness, to never know injury, is pretty much a blessing in my humble opinion. And I try and give my animals the best possible life. Okay, we're probably going to bottleneck here a little bit. I'll tell you what I mean in a second. All right. The best grass is in the pasture, not out here. But I think we're going to bottleneck. Woo! Hey, birdies. Hey, chickens. This is fun, guys. Please hit the like button. I really enjoy doing these live streams with you. Brightens my day a bit. All right, now I'm going to open the gate right here, and this is the part where I get nervous. It is cute, Jennifer. Thank you. Carolyn in the house, too. I believe North Carolina. We are in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Carolina. Now, there's a risk that the cows will go under this fence right here. I'm actually going to put one more fence post in. And hopefully the cows don't get freaked out by the chickens. I don't think they will. All right. One more post in, just to make sure that we cross all of our T's and dot all our I's. Good enough. You kids ready? Woo! Are you ready? Let's get this gate unlocked. Get you moved over. Hey, Big Bud. Our fearless leader, Big Bud. Okay, kids. Dinner bell. Ding, ding. Dinner time. I'm going to take y'all with me. There they go. Let me turn the camera around. Chickens down there running like crazy. Oh, there we go. Like I said, you'll see some flies. There'll be a little bottleneck action. All the calves have gone through. Donnie and the donkey typically come through last. That's Tammy. Go ahead, Tammy. You can see these cows are a little annoyed by the flies. You're going to see a few flies. That's just it. This is farming. This is ranching. Just walk right on with them. Good cows. Good cows. Chicken over here flipping out. This cow does not like walking on gravel. Go ahead, Donnie. I'm in Donnie's flight zone, which is not a good place to be. Donnie just wants to get through just like the rest of them. Go ahead, guys. No bottleneck, no problem. That's awesome. That is awesome. Man, that was the best move I've ever experienced right here. That was great. Got two new babies. I want to make sure Stripe has made it over. I see Stripe and I see the other baby. They're both right there. Wasn't that cool? This is one of the most rewarding parts of having a farm, is being able to get out here and make this many beings happy. Bring joy to this many beings. It's just awesome. So I took about 11 calves to market last Friday. So last Friday, I was rounding up cows. You guys will see that video coming up very soon. I think it's tomorrow. Made a little bit of a profit so far on the farm this year. We brought home $26,000 in profit from the cows. I say profit, in income from the cows. Not all profit. We probably have about $12,000 in hay and fuel and fertilizer products on the pastures right now, and seed, grass seed. Spent $8,000 on grass seed last year. Have you ever thought about meat chickens and rotating behind the cows? That's what we're doing, Kendall. That's what we're doing here. So the chickens are running around and they'll come in behind the cows here very, very soon. We got to give the cows a few weeks to get their manure pats out, and then the chickens will come in behind the cows. But that is what we're doing. We have a dual purpose bird now, not just a meat bird, but a dual purpose bird, which is important. A very tough, robust bird. How much does one calf cost You're gonna have to stay tuned for tomorrow's video, Jennifer. The average price that I got for the calves, for the feeder calves at the market, was $963. $963 for a cow like that. Cattle prices are at the highest they have been in history. We are in a record cost increase for cattle, which takes a small farm like mine and actually makes it be able to earn a small profit, which is what the entire goal here has been for the years that we've been building here. If you guys don't know, if you're fairly new to the channel, what you're seeing here is the result of, let me turn the camera back around. This is a result of nearly 9 years of hard work and probably 15 years of studying and educating myself so that I can present good information to you guys. This doesn't happen overnight, and we all learn valuable lessons every single day, like shutting the gate. You'd think that'd be an easy lesson to learn, but we have to learn that too. We got to go out. I got to close this gate. We got to go back out and get those cones and this stuff out of the road. So let's go do that real quick. I'll come back and clean all this up after our video. Thank y'all so much for being here. Don't leave. We got more. Lots more to do. All right. But we do need to make sure that the UPS guy doesn't come flying through here and take out my fence wire. Good stuff. Now, something that I've learned, leave the gate open. This gate right here will remain open. If there was a straggler in that pasture, it'll come on over. It'll come over and it'll be grazing by the fence. So I've got to keep a close eye. Doing a head count, as you guys could see, nearly impossible to do a head count going through there. I can go out in the pasture and try to count them, but they're moving all the time. Like I said, it is nearly impossible to get a good head count. All right, I'm gonna get my fence wire out from in the middle of the road, and then we'll talk a little bit more. We'll go back up on the porch and chat just a little bit more. Happy Friday to everybody. Happy birthday to a couple friends of mine. We're having a little get together this evening for some birthday people. They'll know who I'm talking about. But my friend Tony, happy birthday. And little Missy from the trailer park, happy birthday. She'll make fun of me for saying that. I saw a question. Glad you made it. Kids up in school already now. Never leave until the video freezes after you say woo. Are you still on Wi-Fi or Starlink? No, we are using this is my cell phone. So this is live stream on my cell phone. 90%, 99.9% of the live streams are on my cell phone. Okay, just got to get all this out of the road, set it to the side. And that way the FedEx man can get through. Or an ambulance. I mean, really my biggest fear is to be out here moving the cows and my neighbors need an ambulance to come through. So definitely want to keep the road from being blocked. Awesome stuff. Now we got lots of Q&A. We got plenty of time for Q&A. That was so much easier than I thought it was going to be. These are called Rhino grips. This is what I store some posts on the ATV and they ratchet closed. Very cool. I like having those. And that's called a tripod. Good morning from Waverly, Tennessee. I asked a question up a little bit. Don't think you saw it. Ask it again. If you're asking a question and you don't think I saw it, just keep asking it and I'll see it. Okay? But if you say, I think there's a question up there you didn't see that I asked, it makes me work. Make it easy for me, right? Okay, first of all, we're gonna ride over there and make sure the cows are good to go. We got chickens in the forest over here. That's kind of cool. We're gonna do a little fence line drive. real quick. Guys, you got to see these chickens in the woods. It's so neat to actually have chickens that are tough enough that we're not having any kind of issue with predators. But they're all down in the woods right here. Hang on, we'll go on up over this. Hold on tight. Ooh! Yeah, I don't dare walk in here because I know what I'll be covered in. But what these chickens are doing is gobbling down ticks and insects and eating up some of the greenage in here. This is where I broke the Ventrac the other, about 2 months ago. I still haven't fixed the Ventrac yet. I've got to get about $300 worth of parts to fix it. And now I've got the front mower, the Bigfoot mower on the skid loader. I don't think I'll use the Ventrac brush cutter very much anymore. Save that machine for what it needs to be for. Say goodbye to the chickens. Let's go right over and just do a little inspection on the cows. We're going to go into the pasture up here. That electric fence that they're on right now does not have power. So I guess first and foremost, let's ride up and get an electric fence charger real quick together. You guys want to go for a little ride? Actually, I'll do that after the live stream. Let's go see cows. Let's enjoy our day with the animals. More chickens down there. More chickens in here. There's about 75 of them. Those are the American grease chickens. Jennifer K says, I haven't seen a snake this summer. You need to come here. There's snakes everywhere. So I got to shut this gate on the way out in a little bit. This section of pasture is 2 weeks behind the one I just moved the cows in. I'll show you up here what I mean. I foresee these cows eating their full bellies completely full and laying down in about an hour. There is so much grass in here for them to eat. Now they're not in this pasture. You'll see in a second where they are, and I'll describe to you what they're going to do over the next few days. Got a frog in me throat. I got fussed at by somebody the other day. Like, you're not letting native grasses grow back. I don't know what you think this is, but this is some fescue, but mostly all native grasses, guys. Mostly all native grasses. Now, we can sit here, we can chat for a bit, and we can watch the cows together. I think that's a chivalrous thought. Danger noodles RC. I don't know what you guys are talking about. So let me look back and see. Kendall, do you think brown Swiss are good meat cows or black Angus? Brown Swiss cows are milk cows. I'm sure they have a meat quality to them, but black Angus is generally recognized as or Angus beef is generally recognized as the best tasting beef. Right, guys? I don't want to offend the cows. Your pastures are all beautiful and green, says Jennifer. Thank you. Yeah, so would I buy a brown Swiss? I guess probably the reason you're asking that question is because you can go buy a brown Swiss bottle calf at the cattle market for about $100 or less. And you can raise that calf out to be a beef cow, or you can raise it out to be a milk cow. Most of the time, it's going to be raised out to be a milk cow. It'll be a little steer or bull calf. So what you're asking is, can you invest $100 in a brown Swiss calf, bottle feed it, and will it make good beef? And that absolutely it will. I think that's what you're asking, Kendall. What do you think? Is that exactly? You tell me. Post a comment. Is that exactly what you're asking? I hope that's what you're asking. By the way, as it pertains to fertilizer, life is not just N, P, and K. It's not. That's my hat, guys. That's what I'm wearing today. Life is not just N, P, and K. in this soil, there has been no fertilizer aside from the microbial inoculant that I spray on the pasture to help it grow. So it's just absolutely amazing. What we're using is Mother Nature to fix nitrogen to our soil. And I will go over the pastures again this fall, and we're going to use a chicken manure product that's going to be really cool. And I can't wait to share that with you. So guys, I hope you're all subscribed. If you're into the farm stuff, some people watch for the farm. Some people watch for the cooking. Some people watch because they like trucks and tractors and like to wrench on stuff. And, you know, that's fine. And I appreciate everybody here. I think I provide such a variety of content. What is NP&K? Dave White. Good question. I'm going to let a viewer answer that question. So NP&K is what you buy in your fertilizer. Okay, that's like, say you buy a fertilizer, it's like 10, 10, 10. That's NP&K. Nitrogen. I'm going to let somebody else pop that up. Have you had your soil tested? I don't need my soil tested, to be honest with you. I don't feel like I do. I know I had my soil tested when we first moved to the property, when there was a we that lived here. And I don't test the soil every year because I can see what it's doing and I can see what I'm doing is right. And I know for a fact my soils are quite acidic, but I'm trying to correct that soil acidity with natural means. Like what comes out of that cow's butt is pH neutral, which should help with my soil acidity. And you can just look out on this pasture and tell that it really has helped. K9 Striker says, for Tammy, have you thought about installing scratching post? That's a YouTube thing, if it ever was. That's a social media thing, if it ever was. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I got scratching post right there. You see that scratching post, and that scratching post, and that scratching post? All these trees are just fine for the cows to rub and scratch. You don't need to buy a $2,000 scratching post. Now, we may build one, or if a company reaches out to me and wants me to show a scratching post on the farm, that'd be fine. But you got to think about this. These cows aren't going to be here. They're only going to be here overnight tonight, and then they're moving over here, and then they're moving over there. They're moving all around the farm. So putting a scratching post in one particular spot doesn't make sense with the grazing program that I have. And they are really expensive. I mean, ridiculously expensive. If this was a dairy, then yeah, we'd have one in the barn for sure. But they are ridiculously expensive. Yep, there we go. NP&K. Steven's jumping in there. Nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. The ingredients in your chemical-based fertilizers. Nitrogen is what makes grass green. If you plant legumes and plants that fix nitrogen with their roots, and if you have the correct microbial life forms in your soil, they will fix nitrogen for you. We lack phosphorus in our soil for sure, and that's why we have the mineral feeders that we use on the farm. I use that in a lot of my pastures that really need to be targeted. I'll use my Super Duty mineral feeder, my free choice mineral feeder, I mean, and those cows will gobble up that phosphorus. Lila, there's no such thing as a dumb question. So ask away. I'm happy to share anything. And that is the entire reason why I don't have a scratching post. I just don't see a need for it right now. And it's so expensive. So everything to do with a farm is super expensive. The K is silent in potassium. Yep, I'm not sure why potassium is K, but I think it's because it's not potassium. I think K9 Striker, potassium, the K comes from the Latin word for potassium. Somebody ask your phone right now, what's the Latin word for potassium? I'll bet you will find that it is Latin. It's on the periodic table of elements, which a lot of that scientific stuff is in Latin. And we have a Latin-based language. Look at this pretty cow. Are you going to use super soil for the fall? Does the donkey keep the coyotes away? I haven't had any coyote problems at all since we've had the donkey. Stephen, chemical table, or otherwise known as the periodic table of elements. Yep, it is the K, but I think the K in the periodic table of elements, which stands for potassium, I think the K is from a Latin word for potassium. Denise says kalium. Kalium. There we go. PB in the house. Is Jay with you? Kilium, Callium, or Kilium, Plague of Badgers. So there we go. We all learned something today. Don't tell me you didn't come to Stony Ridge Farm Channel and learn a little something. What you guys see here is the front rack on the four-wheeler. I'm holding the four-wheeler up here. Sometimes it's nice to just sit back and watch the cows graze, isn't it? I can't believe that cattle move went so smooth. I am patting myself on the back over here pretty hard. From Neo-Latin, Callium, says Dave White. There we go. Now we got it. I saw your comment there, Plague of Badgers. Sometimes it's hard to type on these little phones. I got big fat fingers. It's hard for me to type. So what's in store for the rest of the day on the Stony Ridge Farm is I'm going to hook up that brush mower and I'm going to try it out around the ponds. I'm going to see how that behaves around the ponds, and anywhere that I have grass that I don't want torn up by the skid loader, I'm going to try with the cast loader. I plan to move to Hamptonville, North Carolina and learn from the Amish and get them to help me learn. Well, you better get your wallet out, Kendall, because I'm going to tell you one thing, and there's nothing against the Amish here. There's probably no Amish people watching, but the Amish know a lot about how to build things and how to live off the land, and they also know a lot about how to get your money. I mean, I'm just being honest. I've been to Amish country many, many times. I admire their work ethic. I admire what they do. I admire everything about their culture. But I'm going to tell you, any of you guys, when you pay for an Amish product, you pay, don't you? Jennifer K says, I watched Dave and Stacy. You mean Doug and Stacy? Doug is not Amish. Doug is wearing an Amish outfit. Doug is 1000% not an Amish person. I know Doug and Stacy very well. I've been to their house. I've sat and had lunch with them several times. We speak at various events together. If you don't know what we're talking about, it's Outdoors with Doug and Stacy. A lot of their content is great and very informative. Yeah, Doug is not Amish, but he does wear Amish clothes. So I asked Doug where he gets his shirts from, and he won't tell me. Where'd you get that shirt, man? Come on. Are you trying to take my style? It's funny. Very funny. My friend had a 24 by 24 garage built by an Amish for $15K. Down in my area, builders want $50K for the same thing. Huh. Interesting. Very interesting. I guess when you don't have to pay taxes. Do Amish people pay taxes? Guys, let me know. Google that. You live stream Otherworld Laster? What you think, brother? See that red dot right beside that video? That means we're live, brother. We are live right here with the cows. They are currently eating. We are totally live. Yeah, somebody Google that. Do Amish pay taxes? I guess you can. It's a very unfair job market if the Amish don't pay taxes. I don't know if they pay income tax or not. I do know that I've got some Mennonite friends that live up in Ohio, and I typically go to Amish country once a year. The former Mrs. Stony Ridge, her family's from Ohio area. Up in there, so Amish country area, I will say, and I used to go up year after year. I've got some great friends up there, the Millers, great people, and I will still go up there and visit with the Millers and visit Amish country. So I haven't been watching for a while. YouTube doesn't push your notifications. Says Otherworld Laster. Brother, you telling me. You are telling me. I don't know what's going on, but I'll tell you this: the view counts on the channel. As we're talking and watching cows, the view counts on the channel have plummeted lately. I don't know if it's people aren't interested in food and farming and wrenching on stuff, or if one of my politically, it could be perceived politically, rants about either taxes or food or folks getting taken advantage of, or Ford Motor Company. One of those may have irritated somebody. So who knows? Do you drink raw milk? I heard it's really good for your health, says Peter. I don't have a source for raw milk around here. I have drank raw milk, but there are no dairies. They're within, gosh, within 30 miles of me, I would say there's probably only about 25 or 30 cattle operations, small cattle operations like this. Amish are not always cheaper. A lot of the times they're a middleman who pays the Amish and guaranteed customer beware. So yeah, that's K9 Striker said that. Jennifer says Doug has a video about raw milk. Well, Doug can drink raw milk. Yep. I mean, raw milk is good, but it's in most states it's illegal to buy raw milk for human consumption. That's why it has to say on the bottle, not for human consumption. So as I'm looking out on the cows here, guys, I see dragonflies flying all over top of the cows, catching them flies. Typically, we'll have some barn swallows and tree swallows following the cows. So they're constantly being bombarded by birds to help with the ecosystem and gobble up some of those flies. Can only buy raw milk in Ohio. If you buy it into a co-op, various places you can get. Okay, so got to go to bed 12:30 a.m. in Australia. Stephen, thank you so much for watching. Are you in Queensland, Australia? Where are you at? Before you go, tell us where you're at. It's so neat to have people from all over the world. So, how's the air compressor coming along in the mega shop? Get it piped yet? Ha ha ha. No way, brother. Not yet, man. I've got to pull everything out of that building. I did do a grand reorganization, and today, later, I'll go up there and I've got some more organizing to do. I'm getting prepped up. I've got to get the sawmill. We've got a pine tree. You probably can see it way in the distance back there. I've got to drop that pine tree, and I'm going to mill up about 8 pines and mill all of the wood all the lumber that I'm going to need for my shop interior for building out the tool area. I heard Australia is coming out of winter. Yeah, the season's the exact opposite in Australia from North Carolina. Victoria, South Gippsland area is this area. Okay, awesome. Awesome. When are you going to start on the barn dominium, says Steve? As soon as money gets right, brother. I'm on a mission. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I've done a few videos ranting a bit about life and taxes and what's going on and saving and spending less and actually trying to eke by and make a living and save some money. I had the grand realization. I just turned 47 years old a couple of weeks ago, and the grand realization that, you know, this farm is part of my retirement. I'd like to be able to earn about $60,000, maybe $80,000 a year off of the farm. What else am I going to do for retirement? So if this is part of my retirement right here, what else am I going to do for retirement? And I came to the grand realization that I'm self-employed, so I haven't been socking money away like I should have for the last 8 years that I've been self-employed. So we're going to be building out the barn dominium, but I'm not going into debt to build out the barn dominium. I'm going to go do this debt free. I finally got the place paid for again, after going through the big D and, you know, basically had to pay for the farm twice. So I finally got the place paid for, and I'm actually kind of taking it fairly easy on the spending habits. You guys see, if you follow the channel, you're like, how do you spend so much? How do you have this much? How do you do this? And I've been spending a lot of money. So I'm trying to dig myself. I've got the biggest shovel I could possibly carry to dig myself out of middle class, and I've got a goal, a financial goal, and everybody should have a financial goal. I've written down my financial goals. I've got a piece of paper and I've written it down. I have a certain amount of money allocated for expenses, for food, expenses for insurance, expenses for taxes, expenses for payroll. I have a guy that I employ that helps me with the videos. So yeah, I've gone on the Dave Ramsey kick, I guess. So, Phil's Road, I'm back. Do you like fishing, says Pandora? Yes. So anyway, I'm trying to save money. That's the bottom line. And I do not see myself going into debt to build my barn dominium home. I want to build that barn dominium home fully debt-free. I am 100% out of debt, except for a monthly credit card bill, which I pay every single month so I can get points on my Amazon and get free stuff, right? You do this on one income, man, you must be doing good, says Kendall. I'm not doing that good. I'm doing okay. I just live well below my means, guys. I really do. When it comes down to it, I work very, very hard. It's at least, I wake up at work. I go to bed at work. I dream about work. But I also dream about what I'm doing right here with the cows and with the animals, out here in this cow pasture. I dreamed of this. This is my dream, and I'm going to tell you one thing. If I can do it, you can do it. Anybody can do it. If you dream of something like this, go for it. But don't be stupid about it. Be patient about it. Don't waste when you don't have to. Don't be stupid about it. Don't go out there and get a 8.5 or 10.5% interest rate to buy land right now. Just don't go do it. It's better to save that money and get yourself out of debt. Once you're out of debt, I want you guys, let's have an open discussion here. Set yourself the monthly allowance. Lila, I do that. And my monthly allowance for myself, this is for me, for my expenses in my home, my food, my fuel, my insurance, my taxes, property taxes. I only pay myself $3,000 a month. Once a month, I pay myself $3,000 a month. That's take-home pay, $3,000 a month. We never really get into this. I've never really talked about this on the channel, but that's what I live on, $3,000 a month. And if I can't make it on that $3,000 a month, then I've got to rethink what I'm doing. Now the business has a different budget than me. The business is Stony Ridge Farmer, but I personally only pay myself $3,000 a month. Can you make it on $3,000 a month? Let me know. Can you guys make it on $3,000 a month? And I didn't do it all debt free. I worked and worked and worked and made myself debt free. So, it took years and years to do that, but doubling down on my payments, just making an extra $100 a month on your payment or $200 a month on your payment will just take that loan and just plummet the amount of interest. I do it on much less, says Lila. That's awesome. That's great. I don't know how you do it on much less, but 3K pegs me out. It really does. I make it less than 3K just trying to get out of debt, says Angie. That's good. That's awesome, guys. It's good to know that you're like-minded like that. How many of you guys would go belly up at $3,000 a month, paying yourself $3,000 a month? When it's, Otherworld Laster says, where I am, it's rough. Trying to get people to do work in my area, set up my homestead. You can't rely on anybody. I have gas lines chilling on the ground with no one willing to bury their crap so I can build my road. I don't know. Be patient, brother. I'm retired. I wish I made $3,000 a month, said William. William, that's where I'm trying to get, brother. So let's talk about this. And this might be for younger folks. This might be something that maybe today could be the first day of everybody's financial life. Maybe when you leave this live stream, maybe today can be the first day of your new financial life. Uh, Dave says, I'm retired and I wish I made $3,000 a month. That is my fear, Dave. I got an airplane getting ready to buzz me here. Um, that is my biggest fear. I don't know how I would make it with this large of a property on that amount of money. So I'm training myself to live that way. Just a couple bags of groceries cost like 250, 300 bucks. Um, Hang on for just a second. I've got an airport not too far away. So your pension is your cow. Set up life for a nice pension. If you get 3K a month and Social Security in 1900, that's a goal. My goal is not 3K a month. My goal is to do my very best to invest my money, and by the time I retire, which I may never ever retire, I mean honestly, but by the time I'm 75, I would like to have enough money saved up that I could make uh, a generous income, a six-figure income. That's my goal, and that's what brings me to the comment where uh, that fellow was retired. Was it Dave? Hang on. I don't want to pick on Dave. It's not picking on Dave. Oh, it's William. I don't want to be in the position where I really have to pinch pennies when I'm in my golden years, because we're going to need money. We're going to need money for medication. We're going to need money for things that break in our homes. We're not strong enough to carry a water heater into the house. I had a water heater explode the other day. Well, that hit me in the budget pretty strong. $700 for a new water heater, and I installed it myself. It took me 20 minutes. If I'd have hired somebody to do it, well, what would I have had to pay? 500 bucks? PB says you have to think what you don't need. And the whole goal with the farm and the whole goal with all this is so that it's maintenance free. So if I save up enough money to feed myself and make myself be able to live a comfortable life after I retire, that's what the goal is. So again, if there's any words of encouragement I can give you guys on this being the first day of your new financial life, is just dedicate yourself to getting out of debt. Do it, do it, do it. The whole goal when I was married, when Miss Stony Ridge was still here, we didn't sock money away in retirement. We didn't sock money away in savings. We socked money away on paying off the property. I got it paid for. And 2 years later, my marriage just exploded. It just went away to nothing. So we got it paid for. I'm going to get this guy. Bye-bye, dude. So we got it paid for, and then I had to pay for it again, which is very unfortunate. So, but you can dig right back out. You just have to do it. We would all live longer if we had no chemicals in our food. I agree, Kendall. Angie Harrington says, LOL, I know the feeling on planes flying over. I'm 9 miles from a U.S. Air Force base. Yeah, you can't complain. You live by the Air Force base. What base is it? I make $2,064 a month. Great conversation starter, says Marie. Thank you, Marie. I can't afford steaks, says William Mathis. I don't know what to tell you, William. I think you saying that you can't. I don't know. Can you still work? Can you still get out there? Does it make sense for you to work? That's where none of us. I mean, I don't want to pick on you, but in our golden years, none of us want to have financial struggles. And again, that's why I'm not going into debt and for 200 grand to finish out the barn dominium home. I'm going to build it over time, and you guys will be right there along with me. Stuart says I put more than $3,000 in my plane to fly from Colorado to Dallas and back. I have to offsets as a corporate pilot. I'm debt free. Live in Telluride. Awesome. Marie is a good friend of mine. She's in here. She said, good topic of conversation. Marie is married to a good friend of mine named Bob or Robert, and I'm sure they're saving. They're both hardworking people, hardworking middle-class people. They came out and visited not too long ago. I think they were actually on a live stream with me. Great people. Otherwella says, I did just take out a mortgage about that high, but I can pay it off early and manage it. Got to be careful, man. This is not the time to go into debt. We're going to have, and I'm no financial expert, but I don't see interest rates. They just can't stay as high as they are right now. A big portion of the boomer generation are still working because the huge inflation over the past 3 years and 2008 hit that boomer generation really hard. Good friend of mine back in 08 when the crash of everything hit, a good friend of mine's dad, it basically nailed his retirement. I mean, it was just horrible. So I just don't want to be in that situation. So try to make smart and less risky investments. Land and property. I'm looking to buy some rental property so that I can also subsidize my retirement with rental property. But the thing about rental property is you got taxes and you got upkeep and you got people not paying their bills. There's always some stress. You'll be on vacation sitting out on the beach with your feet up and you get a phone call. Josephine's water heater just exploded, or the kitchen just caught fire in Bobby's house, you know, that kind of thing. I've had rental property. I started buying rental property when I was 21 years old. As soon as I got out of the Air Force, by the time I was 23, I had 7 houses. So yeah, I miss that. I like doing that kind of work. My 401k took a big hit and never recovered, says Dave. It's tough, man. It's really tough. Well, guys, I want to turn the camera back around, let you see the cows one more time before we go. I've got to go make sure the chickens have plenty of water, give them a little chicken snack. Cows are doing fantastic today. That was the most trouble-free move I think we have ever had. Super nice to get out here and do this and bring you guys along with me. Build a cabin for Airbnb. At some point, Lila, I do believe I will be building a cabin, and it will be right back there. So this will be the front porch view, and then the back porch view will be the waterfall. The waterfall's back there. So, but it takes time. Just got to be patient, not bury ourselves in debt. When the interest rates go back down to a normal rate, maybe I will take out a loan and build that, and build my outdoor kitchen and build out my barn dominium home. But for now, I live in a very inexpensive mobile home. The taxes on it are $17 a year. It's nearly a 40-year-old mobile home, and it's just fantastic. Let's go see Big Bud. You guys want to see Big Bud? Hey, Bud. This is my biggest cow. Hey, Bud. You gonna be my friend today? Did you miss me? Did you miss me? Gosh, what a big old head. You want to rub? Want a good head rub? Yeah. Oh, there he is. He's one of the most friendly cows. Guys, gorgeous morning on the farm. Thank you all so much for joining me. Please hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. If you're watching on Facebook, reach over and hit that follow button. If you want to see more live streams like this and you're on YouTube, go to Cows and Coffee YouTube channel. Jump in there and subscribe, and you'll see more live streams like this. We do typically 3 to 5 live streams per week. You like the cows, you like the animals, and you want to see more Big Bud. Thank you, guys. See you next time on the Stony Ridge. Have a great day.